Right now at noon, a class in Oklahoma looks to preserve the KOAM language for future generations.
And we're warming up today to have a clear day and also rain in the forecast. Talk about that coming up.
Plus, road crews in Joplin see the finish line for a major road construction project.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
One of 2 brothers connected to the murder of a man in Joplin is now in the Jasper County Jail. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Noe. Now, Aiden Amon Cantorero Benitez is charged with first-degree murder, robbery, and abandonment of a corpse. Benitez also has a no-bond immigration and customs enforcement warrant. Now, his arraignment is scheduled for October 10th at 10 a.m. in Jasper County. Aiden Benitez and his brother Jose Cantorero Benitez, 2 illegal immigrants from Honduras, are the 2 suspects in the murder case of 63-year-old Oklahoma resident Jesse Gilmore. Now, investigators believe the brothers were headed to Oklahoma to buy meth, but got stranded in Joplin and were out of money. That's when authorities believe they fatally shot Gilmore at the Road Ranger gas station on Joplin's South Prigmore Avenue and stole his car. Now, investigators believe they disposed of the body in a ditch alongside Interstate 44. Now, the 2 brothers were later arrested for separate crimes not related to the Jasper County murder in Kansas City and Independence, Missouri. Jose Benitez earlier this week made his first court appearance in Jackson County, Missouri for a shooting and attempted carjacking there. Now, the charges include first-degree assault, vehicle hijacking, and armed criminal action. At last report, the victim in that case, a woman, was in critical condition. And in a separate case, he's also accused of pistol whipping a woman in Kansas City, Missouri. Now, the Jasper County Sheriff's Office expects additional charges against Jose Benitez for the murder of Jesse Gilmore. Now, let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney for a look at the forecast.
Well, temperatures right now out in the Joplin area in the mid-70s. And as you can see, it is a very clear day today, looking fantastic. We do warm up to the upper 70s today, but we're going to stay dry, clear skies, looking good. That is until we see a few showers pushing in on Friday afternoon, thanks to, we can thank Hurricane Helene as it makes landfall. It is met by another low pressure system that ends up interacting with it and bringing some showers closer to the Midwest and closer to the 4 states region. But I'll have those details coming up.
All right. Thanks, Lindsay. We'll see you soon. Well, the state of Missouri carries out the execution of Marcellus Williams by lethal injection last night. The execution came shortly after the U.S. Supreme Court rejected a request from Williams' attorney to delay. Now, Williams had maintained his innocence in the 1998 stabbing death of Felicia Gale in St. Louis. He was pronounced dead at 6:10 yesterday evening. Earlier efforts to halt the execution were denied by the Missouri Supreme Court and a Republican Governor Mike Parson. Now, dozens gathered at the Missouri state capitol to protest yesterday's evening's execution.
How do we teach that killing is wrong by killing? I'm a volunteer at the Jefferson City Correction Center, the prison, and the men I know out there are
Marcellus Williams' execution is the 3rd in Missouri this year and among 5 taking place nationwide across a 7-day span. Well, Barton County, Missouri deputies discovered a suspicious device during a traffic stop. Now, it happened around 3 yesterday afternoon. Now, authorities closed traffic in the area for about 3.5 hours. The Springfield Fire Department bomb squad inspected the device and discovered it was, in fact, an explosive device. Now, they rendered the device safe and transported it to their facility. One man is in custody and formal charges are pending. No one was injured. Well, a major piece of road work appears to be nearing a finish line. Crews have been busy widening Connecticut Avenue in Joplin from 2 lanes to 5, with walking paths on both sides from 32nd to 38th Street. Now, the project stems from the passage of the capital improvement sales tax passed by voters in 2004 and renewed in 2014 and again this year. The completion of the project is expected by mid-November. Well, a Pittsburgh woman believes her lease is no longer being renewed because she reported mold concerns at her home. Now, Susan Ledbetter has lived at the Pittsburgh Highland development for the past 6 years. Now, she says she struggles with mold every year, an issue KOAM reported on back in 2019 when the development was under different management. In August, Ledbetter says the mold was the worst she's seen it. Now, the owners moved her into a hotel while even her floors had to be replaced. Now, since then, she says she received a notice that her lease is no longer being renewed. She believes it is because she has reported the issues with mold. Now, she says other tenants have similar concerns but are now fearful to speak up.
The thing is, we were getting sick. It was disgusting in here, and it's flat out wrong to treat people like that. But you're mad at me because I asked you to do something you should have done in the first place. It's your job. I mean, if I could fire them for not doing their job, they would have been fired 6 years ago because they don't do anything.
Now, we reached out to the Malign Management Company, who manages the development, for a statement. Now, the CEO says any mold issues at the development have been resolved. He says the company is not the true owners of the property, but declined to provide further information about the ownership. The Quapaw Language Department kicked off their language classes yesterday. The instructor will begin teaching about pronunciation as a foundation for the class. Now, the goal of the class is to promote cultural preservation. Organizers hope to pass down the Quapaw language so future generations can feel more connected to their culture.
It's the ultimate vessel of our culture. I mean, you know, things come and go, the things around you will eventually deteriorate, but as long as, I mean, the oral tradition is like one of the oldest things in human history.
Quapaw is considered a dormant language, so no one speaks it fluently. But one of the goals of the classes is to build towards fluency. Well, coming up, young entrepreneurs make a lemonade out of lemons. And later, we're making old-fashioned German stuffing in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Well, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, right? Well, that's what 12 students were making and selling at the Girard Farmers Market yesterday afternoon. Now, the students are part of an entrepreneurship program that started with lessons about the process of getting a bank loan and ends with hopefully a profit for each of them at their own lemonade stand.
The money that they make today for Lemonade Day is going to go to pay back their loan. So we walked them through what it means to take out a loan through a bank, and they each took $25 loans out. So they'll go back and they'll pay that back to the bank, and then everything else that they get is theirs.
Lemonade Day is a program that more than 1.5 million children in 3 countries have participated in. The profit generated by the Lemonade Day is more than $270 million. Well, it's an exciting time here at KOAM. For months now, our crew has been working behind the scenes preparing to bring you a whole new way to receive the 4 States' #1 news station. It's our brand new 24-hour streaming service, the KOAM Plus app. And who better to introduce it than our own streaming anchor, Jordan Keys.
I am here in the KOAM Plus Digital Center, where every day we'll be working to share with you live news updates, breaking news, and weather forecasts from the Skywatch weather team. This is my workspace and where a lot of that content starts, and it's all designed to make sure that you can stay up to date with the news and weather in a different, easy way. So what can you get from KOAM Plus? Well, you can get and stay informed. We've overhauled our streaming efforts to bring you top-of-the-hour live updates, breaking news as it happens, and weather every 10 minutes. The free app is the best way to get the news that matters to you on your time 24/7. In addition to streaming our regular morning and evening newscasts for free, you'll get live updates throughout the day with the most up-to-date information on stories that matter to you. The new look of KOAM Plus also has a graphic with live radar information and forecasts for cities around the 4 states anytime you turn it on. You can also see updated headlines of the day scrolling below. One of my favorite parts of the app is the on-demand content. All our videos live here, and you can watch past special reports, in-depth interviews, and exclusive content you can't get anywhere else. And if you don't have a connected TV, don't worry. You can always watch the stream on KOAM Plus anytime. KOAM Plus powers the stream on the KOAM News Now app and on KOAMNewsNow.com. I'm Jordan Keys, KOAM News Now.
Well, you'll be able to watch the new streaming player on all KOAM digital platforms starting today. Well, still to come on KOAM News at Noon, Mr. Food.
Need something to serve with your schnitzel or brats? We've got just the thing, and is it ever tasty?
And we've also got a warm and sunny day ahead. We'll talk about that right after the break. Now today it's looking pretty good. Clear skies and temperatures in the upper 70s, so it's a perfect September day. Let's take a look outside downtown Joplin. You can see not a cloud in sight. We may see a couple starting to pop up in the afternoon, but overall today is going to be a really wonderful day. We're not seeing any rain chances or clouds, at least for the next couple of days, but starting Friday, we may see that. So we started the morning off with some fog, but we're ending it with temperatures in the upper 70s, about 78 degrees, and sunny skies. Now, even though temperatures are in the upper 70s, low 80s in some areas, we still have that nice northerly breeze, so it's still going to be a pretty good day today. Temperatures down to the 60s by 8 p.m. and then continue to drop through the overnight hours, getting down to about 51 for our overnight low. So a pretty cool night, but we do warm back up tomorrow. And for the rest of the weekend, we're actually going to continue to warm up. We've got an upper level ridge that's going to be pushing into the area this upcoming weekend. But first, Friday, we do see a couple of rain shower chances. And that is actually from Hurricane Helene. Interesting enough, this hurricane makes landfall Thursday afternoon into the evening on the coast of Florida down there in the Panhandle, making landfall as a Category 3 with winds up to 120, 130 miles per hour. Very strong hurricane. Usually with a hurricane like this, we see it take a northeasterly path and go up the east coast. But because we already have a low positioned just to the west of it, it has an interesting effect on the hurricane. We call this the Fujiwara effect, and it's a pretty rare phenomenon. So what happens is both of these lows want to interact with each other, and in fact they just start to rotate around each other. So it actually brings the hurricane, or at this point now a tropical storm, over to the west and into our area, bringing some of those rain showers along. Now, unfortunately not strong enough that it's going to actually give us a lot of rain, but in our far eastern counties, it may see a couple showers early Friday afternoon. Not a ton, maybe 1/10 of an inch of rain. Again, not a lot, but then at some point the low that was already positioned overtakes the hurricane, and then it'll continue to shift east, and that's when we start to see that ridge forming over our area, bringing us those warmer temperatures. So we see that Saturday and Sunday and even Monday into the low 80s for nearly all of us, but then we drop back down 74 on Tuesday, 73 on Wednesday, so we cool back down by the midweek next week. So until then, temperatures are about average upper 70s all the way through the weekend, and a couple of low chances of rain.
Alrighty, well, we definitely need some more rain, and I mean 70 degrees. It's funny that that is like perfect fall weather down here, but it feels really nice outside.
It does feel nice, although, you know, with temperatures in the upper 70s, I'm now wanting lower 70s,
right,
or like 60s, but you know, can't complain.
They'll come for sure. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, stick around. We're making old-fashioned German stuffing in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Well, Well, here's a perfect recipe to add to your fall dinner nights. Howard is showing us how to make old-fashioned German stuffing in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
You know, when the cooler weather comes, our meals tend to go from light and bright to warm and comforting. And although there's no shortage of dishes to serve as main courses, it's often a challenge to come up with tasty go-alongs to pair with them. So to help you out, and as part of our Oktoberfest festivities, we've created an old world stuffing that's always a hit. We start by sauteing some celery, onions, and carrots in a bit of butter. After they cook for a bit, we add in an apple that we've peeled, cored, and chopped, along with a bit of salt and pepper. Once everything's tender, we pour this over a loaf of rye bread that we've cut into cubes, along with a good amount of warm chicken broth, a pound or so of fresh sauerkraut that we've drained, and some crumbled bacon. After everything is mixed, we'll put it in a baking dish before popping it in the oven. What you end up with is a hot and hearty stuffing that's just as at home with a few German sausages as it is with your favorite pot roast. To get the recipe for what we call old-fashioned German stuffing, all you have to do is go online so you can add it to your Oktoberfest feast. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an old world way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can, of course, find this recipe for old-fashioned German stuffing along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Now, here's a look at the four-state market prices.
Well, we've got temperatures in the upper 70s for the next couple days. Pretty nice, sunny skies. Now, we do have a slight chance of showers on Friday afternoon because of Hurricane Helene, although it's going to be our far eastern counties, and it is just a slight chance right now. Outside of that, temperatures warm up through Monday and then cool back down pretty consistently in the upper 70s.
All right, not too bad. Well, we definitely want to enjoy today because it's just beautiful outside right
Absolutely.
now. All right, thanks, Lindsay. And Dad, what do you have for us later on?
Well, a lot's coming up at 5. For starters, a poll by the American Psychiatric Association found 30% of Americans experience loneliness at least once a week. There are now several apps that can help people find new friends, and we're going to take a look at one of them. Plus, the local market in the town of Erie, Kansas is no longer owned by the city, despite community efforts to save the market. We're going to hear about how that's impacting residents. And McDonald County, Missouri School celebrates the opening of a new state-of-the-art storm shelter and multi-purpose room at the Pineville Primary School. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's all coming up today. KOAM News at 5.
Absolutely. Lots to look forward to. Thanks, Dow. Well, that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5. Until then, have a great rest of your day.